Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in the southeast corner of the map playing in red, we've got Beastyqt playing as the Chinese, and battling against him today spawning in the northwest in blue, we've got jiglypuf playing as the Byzantines. Welcome everyone to Dry Arabia. As always, hope you guys are having a great morning, good afternoon, or maybe a good evening. And you know what? This is a classic one, right? It's got to be, because it's Jiglypuf versus Beasty. If you're not really kind of aware of the situation, well, Jiglypuf was banned in Beastyqt's Twitch chat a very long time ago, and he's never been unbanned since. And there's been a couple of games between them, now and again, team games, 1v1s, and in fact, actually, Jiglypuf has beaten Beasty in both formats of the game. 1v1, he beat him, and he beat him in the 2v2s as well. Now, Beasty's not the kind of player that loses many games, that's for sure. He's obviously one of the best players in Age of Empires 4, and he is going to be playing as the Chinese today, up against the trademark Byzantines from Jiglypuf. The question is, can Jiglypuf get some revenge? He lost the previous one, which was in an epic 1-hour battle, something like that. It was some crazy match. It was actually casted on the channel. I think it was the English versus the Byzantines. So it's definitely worth a check out if you haven't watched that already, but this is going to be a rematch almost. Obviously Beasty with a different civilization today, but let's take a look at the map. Now, pretty awkward map for Beasty, all things considered, because he's got the gold forward, double gold forward, and looks like he's got 2 deer camps. Now, although I said this is kind of awkward, it's all very far forward, but one thing to bear in mind, the Chinese, as one of the landmarks, get the Barbican of the Sun, a very good defensive landmark, and you can imagine just Beasty plonking it down here, in between the 2 golds, in between the stone, and then getting the deer camp nice and safe and secure, which is a lot of food to be had, by the way. Each deer carcass has 350 food, and it's all free food as well, so that's incredibly powerful, especially considering the Byzantines typically go for a fast castle, at least Jiglypuf does with them. It's going to go for the Grand Winery, no real surprises there. Now, I would like to say, by the way, a very big thank you for everyone who's been supporting the channel, whether it be on Twitch or YouTube. You guys are absolute legends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, if I can ask for a very, very, I guess, special request, it's completely free, but it helps me out massively. If you could give the video a thumbs up, but also in the comment section below, drop down your favorite emoji. That would be super, super appreciated for the, the old YouTube algorithm side of things. Hopefully, being able to get the video pushed out to more viewers, and it's quite nice to have a buzzing community on YouTube. I think I do stream live on Twitch very occasionally, but YouTube's my jam, and it's really nice to see the regular folk coming in on the YouTube comments section. It's definitely nice to have that coming in every so often. Now, he's actually going to be able to push the deer with the scout nicely, as we kind of expected to see the Barbican of the Sun. And the question is, what does Beasty do up against a Byzantine fast castle? Does he look to try and make some units and then go to the castle age himself? Quite likely. But does he go for a bit of a feudal age push? I mean, I think the Chinese, because of the Imperial official and being able to supervise the mill, gets extra food for that way, I think they don't have a particularly bad fast castle. Especially when you consider actually having the Song Dynasty, which is where they have 2 of the feudal age landmarks, gives them the town centre working faster. It's quite a nice thing to actually do. Go for Song Dynasty, just stay 1 town centre, no need to be too greedy, and then get to the castle age. The reason why is because that whole time your villager count will be growing faster than your enemies, and so that, it's really good as a power spike later on in the game. Of course, that would force the Byzantines into making a decision. Do they go super, super aggro in terms of military in the castle age and try and nullify that villager deficit that they invariably get? Or do they go for a second town centre themselves? So, decisions to be had here for sure. And Jiglypuf, we're going for the Grand Winery, going for the wheelbarrow as well. And he won't be too far away from his, he's really going for that build for the fast castle, where he's got 5 villages on gold. There's no other real reason to be on gold this heavily. He's actually going for the gold mining upgrade as well. Wasn't it kind of expecting that? But, he's got a very optimized build here, Jiglypuf. There's no doubt about it. So, that's something to take note of. Now, it will be the Imperial Academy, as the Song Dynasty will be completed with that. And we'll see how the action goes on from there. Now, Jiglypuf does have a deer camp at the back, and berry bushes at the back, and does have 1 berry bush at the front, which is a little bit awkward. But the reason why I'm talking about the berry bushes in particular for the Byzantines is because the Grand Winery is such a good landmark for the Byzantines. But what it really, the big bonus behind it is the fact that the berry bushes and the olive groves give you 60% extra olive oil And so it's pretty impressive. It gets you mercenaries really nicely. I imagine it's going to go for Keshiks, right? So Jiglypuf, we've seen him play against Beasty a couple of times with the Byzantines, and what he typically does is he goes for the cistern of the first hill landmark. Not a very commonly chosen landmark, but it has been nerfed recently, unfortunately for Jiggly. And then he goes for full cavalry, right? So probably Keshiks, we shall see. Yeah, it will be Keshiks being able to be trained with just olive oil. Imperial Academy coming up now for Beasty and getting that Song Dynasty. I would like to say as well, by the way, I have been casting a couple of other RTS games. So Zero Space has been on the radar for me massively. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's definitely worth checking out. Now, as you guys know, this YouTube channel is just purely Age of Empires 4, and I'm intending to keep it that way. So with regards to Zero Space, I've actually opened up a new YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to it in the video description. If you enjoy my casting kind of style and you think you may want to check out another RTS game, I'd really highly recommend Zero Space. It's looking really good, looking really fun. And yeah, I've got a couple of casted games, so if it's something you want to just check out, see if you like it or not, it's worth taking a quick look. Either way, with the deers now pushed in, I imagine Beasty's going to start moving out to the food here, because I can't imagine it's got too much food underneath the mill remaining. Although he's probably going to be venturing out to gold as well. Well, he's actually got quite a decent amount of gold already. I mean, obviously he's been mining for quite a time. He's been supervising with the Imperial official as well, very nicely. Now, interestingly enough, he's actually going to go for the Imperial Palace. And a lot of it's down to the fact that actually, Siege has been nerfed quite heavily, and so the Astronomical Clock Tower is just not proving all that popular. Now, this is an interesting landmark, because not only does it give you a lot of vision, it has the ability to get Imperial Spires, so you can see where your enemy's workers are and get a bit of raiding. But it's going to be a bit tricky for the Chinese, because they don't really have much mobility at the moment, and may not have, considering cavalry against the Byzantines, could be a bit tricky. Now, this is actually really good damage coming out for the Byzantines. He's killed one villager already. He's denying the age up in terms of timing, at least. And that might actually allow the Byzantines to get to the castle age, a really reasonable time, and look to pick up some of those relics. So bear in mind, you might be thinking, how can the Byzantines go to the castle age later than the Chinese, considering the Chinese have got a double feudal age landmark? Well, it's primarily because he's got some upgrades, right? He's got the wheelbarrow upgrade, he's got the gold mining upgrade. So that will help him, and he will be going for the system on the first hill. But yeah, denying that age up smoothly is very important, because ultimately now it becomes sort of a race for the relics, right? And one thing to bear in mind is Beasty doesn't actually have enough wood for the monastery just yet, and because he's deploying an archery range, he needs to make units, right? Because the Byzantines getting cataphracts and keshiks is powerful. And so, actually, Beasty is not going to be able to get a monastery before too long, so he's not going to really challenge those relics. I mean, ultimately, he needs to survive the next 5-10 minutes, because the Byzantines, they have an incredible power spike at this point, because they got the cisterns, network level 2 at the moment, going to be 3 with the cistern in the first hill, and that's going to really increase production speed, as well as villager gathering rate. At the moment, it should be a good 14% if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is indeed 14%. Starts off with as a baseline of 10% with the water level 1, increases by 4% each level. Now, he's going to be adding crossbows, understandably so here, Beasty, because you expect to see a lot of keshiks, you expect to see cataphracts. That is the Jigglypuf special, and he's got to keep those crossbows alive, though. He's only got one so far, and the keshiks are pretty good numbers of them, all things considered. Now, hasn't actually been able to get the deer camp just yet here, Beasty, which is a bit of a struggle, because he's going to have to rely on berries for now. Just needs to build up a large enough army to be able to get out there safely. Meanwhile, I can imagine a cataphract or two being queued up here for Jiglypuf. There we go, from double stables as well. So he's got a really optimized build. I wonder if he's going to be able to get some of these the monks out to get the relics. And the great thing about the Byzantines is with this landmark, the Grand Winery, they can make the monk from there, right? It's super powerful. And if you deposit the relics inside the Grand Winery, it gives you olive oil rather than gold. Really nice little mechanic there for the Byzantines. A couple of keshiks backing away. What will be kind of cool is to hopefully get some ideas as to what the next civilizations will be in the new DLC. So if you guys aren't aware, we are actually getting a new DLC in 2025, and we're nearly in 2025, right? So I can't imagine it would be at the beginning of 2025. It might even be just the the last quarter, but who knows? What we do know is that we are getting new DLC with new civs. Let me know in the comment section below, actually, what civs would you like to see in the game? I feel like I would like to see like a South American type civilization. That'd be pretty cool. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe something like the Aztecs, the Mayans, maybe. Something like that, something that hasn't been covered before. I imagine we'll get a couple of variant civilizations. I think seeing an English variant civilization would be pretty cool. I know that the English are a bit of a, you know, civilization that are very popular to play, but very hated as well at times. But I think a variant civilization for the English would be pretty cool. Maybe a variant civilization for the Mongols somehow. That'd be pretty interesting. Either way. Jigglypuff gonna dive in here, maybe get a couple of hits on these villagers. No, it does have the village to retreat into, which is certainly helpful. Not gonna dive into that woodline just yet because a good number of ranged units for the Chinese, and I think that's really what he has to do, right? Beasty just has to keep range units numbers up and protect the economy. The great thing for the Keshiks here is that actually when they destroy or put torch damage on the building, they do regenerate some of their health, which is certainly helpful. But he does have the gunpowder slits here, the Chinese, as standard. The cavalry won't be enough here for Jiggly to push in just yet. And you can see preferentially taking the berries rather than the deer camp, which you typically expect for the Byzantines, getting the extra olive oil that way. Starting to build up a decent force down the middle. Bear in mind, Jigglypuff has already got one relic, another one on the way. Beasty's picked up one and is making his way back with it. He's going to charge on the villagers and gold. No, he doesn't quite get any there, Jigglypuff, and might even try and torch this blacksmith actually as happens, but maybe not, deciding against it. Picking up a relic here, and he's moving out there, so maybe Jigglypuff will spot that and challenge that and take it down. He's moving his whole army, would you believe? He doesn't want Beasty to get that relic, I guess. As another relic comes on home here for Jigglypuff. Another one on the way as well. I think this would be a good denial, because that would make it a 4-relic game if he can pick this one up, Jiggly, and he probably should. But the army being moved there for Jiggly now allows Beasty to take this food off the map. This is a big deal, by the way. I think this is a slightly missed opportunity, because you can't actually build rams here, Jiggly. He doesn't have any infantry to make the rams, and he doesn't have a siege engineering, siege workshop. So this Barbican in the Sun has really done great work here for Beasty. This is so much food, and it's being supervised by the Imperial official. You could imagine if the Chinese had to have a farming transition right now, it would be incredibly awkward. But alas, Beasty is able to take that food. A lot of real estate at the back, though, for farming, potentially. That's something that Beasty will need to think about a little bit later on. Not quite yet. Plenty of deer carcasses still remain. I imagine the boars probably won't be an option here for Beasty. This one certainly wouldn't be, but this one's a little bit too far out. Now 3 relics in the clutches for the Byzantines. One more there on the west side, which I think he's looking to try and grab right now. Just missed it by a little. Could potentially look to get sacred sites as well as that happens. Because he Beasty's Song Dynasty, 52 villagers to 44. Jigglypuff only killing 1, so that's the benefit of Song Dynasty. He's going to charge on through here. He's going to garrison villagers inside the Barbican. Not enough space in the Barbican for a lot of the other villagers, but lovely play by to get them into the village. And in the end, Beasty doesn't lose a single villager, but he takes out 2 cavalry units. Good value for him. Of course, there was a little bit of idle time in terms of mining, but, you know, these things happen. You can't really have it all one way. Got to trade a little bit. The big thing is he didn't lose a single villager. Oh, there's the Imperial official supervising once again. But yeah, the question you have to ask yourself is, well, Jigglypuff is kind of behind on economy because of the Song Dynasty. So the question is, does Jigglypuff decide to add in a second town center? Or does it add in trade? We'll have to see. A couple of Ghulams are added into the mix as the mercenaries. Maybe they could be useful to get some rams or Chirosiphons for the Byzantines. But it doesn't really have the wood for it. So we'll have to hold that phone. It's looking to get some of the sacred sites. Alright, walls coming up here for Beasty. Looking to make sure that he isn't challenged off the food. The thing is, I feel like he's got enough here, right? To not be pushed off the food. It's just a big deal securing that food. One more sacred site being captured, but Beasty might challenge that. Although he's not wanting to move out too much because, you know, he might be caught, and it might even be caught anyway. The army did kind of pull away for Beasty. Looks like Jigglypuff might challenge and push on through. I mean, he's going to go for the woodline. That could be pretty powerful. If he does, a lot of the cavalry do gulp on in, but he needs to get eco damage, right? He's kind of faffing around this primary town centre. He needs to find villages. He needs to find them fast. A couple of Gulam around the back. Yeah, he didn't really find anything. I guess he didn't really want to go for the woodline and get trapped. It's easy to go in, but sometimes hard to come out with cavalry, especially when your enemy's gone for ranged units, right? They just get a couple of shots off of the retreat, and it's a big problem. Beasty does have to go up against a player that has the second ranged armor upgrade. But I feel like he's going to be feeling relatively confident because he's got a lot of crossbows. We've got added in spearmen as well. A direct counter to what's being put on offer here by the Byzantines. Okay, we have to back away, so he will maybe lose a couple of units here. Just by courtesy of the ranged attack, and when he loses a cataphract, no, he managed to keep it alive just about, only just. But I would have loved to have seen Jigglypuff get that third sacred site, just to set that timer, you know, force the Chinese out a little bit. I think Beasty, he might be feeling quite confident about things, you know, he's got 61 villages, and he's got a he's got Song Dynasty, so he kind of already knows he's ahead, and he's going to look to get a keep now. Nice timing on this, actually. This is something that Beasty does incredibly well. Make sure he survives any early pushes, and a keep in this timing now is super strong. Especially if he places it around here, just protects the production buildings, protect the front of the base, and then it will be really hard for Jigglypuff to push in. Holy moly words. It's actually currently almost 11 o'clock in the evening for me. At night time, I'm pretty exhausted, but I didn't want to miss the chance to cast this game, right? So as you guys know, I'm very selective about the games I put on YouTube, so I imagine this is a game I just didn't want to miss, right? Jigglypuff versus Beasty, it's always a spectacle. Now, the Byzantines are adding in a couple of archers that will help against the spearmen, no doubt. And it's going to be a second town centre for Beasty, so we're really going to scale that economy. But we see traders here. 72 gold, 14 olive oil. It's going to charge on through with the cataphracts right on top of the spears, and should be able to clear this out. I mean, the armor's kind of split here for Beasty. Might go for the villages on the town centre. The town centre does get built, so villagers do garrison inside, so you're going to save the vast majority of them. He has lost 6 villages in total, though. Can try and get some walls on the left side, and probably should be able to achieve it. But yeah, killing 6 villages, very, very nice. Has limited or reduced the deficit to very minimal villager counts. The big thing, I think, is that the fact that the Byzantines have had 3 relics and 3 sacred sites now. It's a big deal. Water level 5 as well. He did that really quickly. It gives him a 26% buffer on these villagers' gather rate. Also, 100% extra production speed on the buildings. Very nice buffer for the Byzantines, that is for sure. Going to snipe down the monk. Probably could deny this wall actually as it happens. If he spots he does spot, he's going to go for it. It looks like Jigglypuff is gathering a bit of stone, so maybe looking to get a keep somewhere on the map. Doesn't want to commit to this just yet, because that's a lot of spearmen. Holy moly. That'll be hard to push into without the archers backing him up. Yeah, I wonder whether Jigglypuff decides to place keeps on the sacred sites, go for that winning condition. There's always a possibility, because Beasty's kind of playing the long macro game, and so that takes time, right? And if he could activate, well, he's got the sacred site, but if he can protect them, maybe that's an option for Jigglypuff to win this game. Mass archery range is going to go for a couple more crossbows, I guess. Going to double down on that. I wonder if Jigglypuff is thinking about the Imperial age. He's floating a lot of gold, a decent amount of food. It's an option for him. He's got a lot of cataphracts. He's not spending it like cleanly. Get the feeling if he spent all those resources into cataphracts, maybe there's a way through to win this fight. Might take the fight anyway. He's going to charge on through, else I imagine. Well, doesn't get the brace with the spearman actually. There it is. There's a huge charge with the cataphracts. Right on top of the spears. They're gulping away, staying alive, and they're going to rip these spearmen to shreds. There are archers on the backline, by the way, which certainly help. In a blink of an eye, Beasty's going to lose his whole army. This is a bit of a dire situation. Like, if Jigglypuff now can get some siege to take out production buildings and just make some good structural damage to the base for Beasty, that could be real big problems. Beasty down to 20 military. This is not looking good for him. Jigglypuff all over him. The units that do pop out is going to be losing. Wallow in the north. Oh, Jigglypuff doing their Wallow thing. If you guys don't know, Beasty does this a lot. It's pretty funny actually to see Jigglypuff do it himself. Beasty getting a bit of a taste of his own medicine. We shall see if Jiggly can see out the game though. He's got to see the game out. Like, it seems like it's over, but trust me when I say Beasty is the kind of player that if he can push us back, he'll find a way back into the game. He's got 2 town center Song Dynasty as well, by the way, so he'll be able to pump out villages. Now, bear one thing in mind. When you've got an army like this for the Byzantines, it's got to make it do significant damage, and it feels like he's throwing away units at this point. He doesn't have any siege to take out infrastructure, and slowly but surely the unit numbers are whittling down. Bear in mind, once he does lose the units, well, Beasty's villages will just come out and work again. Sure, about half the economy's idled, but they're not dead. That's the important bit. They'll come out and work again. He's got the farming transition as well, so that's a big reason why he isn't able to kind of replace units too easily. I don't think there's that much of a farming transition for the Byzantines just yet. It's going to be soon enough, but yeah, interesting situation, especially with trade now online for the Byzantines, double market production as well. So he's scaling that economy very nicely. Takes out the second town center. Probably will make it through this Barbican, but we'll have to see. They've got 3 other landmarks he'd have to get through for a landmark victory. Only 6 minutes on the sacred site time, and this is getting a bit close for comfort for Beasty. Jigglypuff has to make sure he gets control of these outposts, these sacred sites. With the forward keep, I don't know how I feel about that. It feels a little bit aggressive. Maybe we can get some trebuchets with that potentially, but I would have preferred to see a keep on the sacred site. This is a mistake. This spearman, if this spearman deactivates the sacred site, this is a mistake. That keep should have been there. He could fight down the middle and a keep on the right side. Jigglypuff could have been in a great spot. Either way though, he's going to go for the old traditional method of fighting and winning. He should be able to save this. I mean, he's going to get there in time. I mean, to be fair, the 2 cataphracts will be enough. Nicely done. But that's his warning shot, right? I guess in a way, if Beasty does move heavily onto the sacred site, then that gives a bit of a window down the middle for Jigglypuff to push on in. Bear in mind one thing as well. He is denying gold. He's getting some stone as well. So he's picking off some key resources. Particularly look at this cheeky economy here from Beasty. Getting some stone unnoticed. Jigglypuff floating a lot of gold, probably because of the trade. I wonder if he's... Oh, this is an issue. These 2 cataphracts will probably be taken down by this number of spearmen. It should be enough, especially with the crossbows behind. I think he gets decapped. This is not like... Oh, 5 minutes, guys. I don't think Beasty can recover in 5 minutes, right? But he will not want to give the sacred site away here. Jigglypuff, you mustn't give it away. Okay, forward siege workshops coming up. Probably some trebuchets, maybe. We'll have to see. Doesn't have that much wood. Probably needs to buy it, to be fair. Probably just, you know, buy stuff, whatever you need. He's got so much gold floating anyway. Might as well. Beasty kind of struggling. Still got a healthy village account, but not much military to show for the civilization. Like, there's some good damage coming out of the spearmen on the traders. I don't think Jigglypuff really wants to commit units to dealing with that, but he's going to have to. 4.5 minutes on the sacred site timer. It's getting a bit close for comfort. These spearmen still getting some great value, would you believe? Is anything coming out? There's no siege. This is such a delay, right? He's been in this position for a long time without any siege. Kind of hurting, but he is floating a lot of gold. Going to the Imperial could be an option here for Jigglypuff, but it feels like he is being really passive with his army. Needed siege, needed to prep for it. Because he hasn't, well, Beasty's able to stabilize. Oh, village coming out the right side. He's getting a keep here, but again, it's not on the sacred site. No way. No way, Jiggly. No way. Dude, you're 4 minutes away from a victory. Okay, he's giving me a heart attack. Just leave some units, wall it up, save the sacred sites. He's fighting off with the villagers here on the right side, Jiggly. Alright, timer again. Now bear in mind, like, it doesn't seem like a lot, but these are, in the grand scheme of things, in the context of how good these players are, the fact that Beasty was able to delay the sacred site victory quite significantly is a huge deal, especially now he's going to get a keep. This is such a problem because with that keep in that position, I mean, there's no way to deny it, right? Because Beasty's villagers, the Chinese villagers, build faster. Now, the Imperial Age will be coming in, though, for the... Oh, he's going to lose a villager there. Or maybe not. Oh, he does lose a villager. Rip. But, yeah, I mean... Oh, this is so awkward, right? because the villagers build faster for the Chinese, so I mean, I don't think Jiggly can stop a decap here. I guess in a way, it does mean he can focus down the middle, but only one trebuchet can take some time for that to really work. Kairos being queued up as well as we speak. I can try and get an outpost there. But good thing about the Chinese villages, as we said earlier, they build fast, right? So there's a good chance this goes up. He will lose a couple of villages though in the process, but all in all, not everything's lost. He's going to be able to mine some stone at least. He's going to send a cataphract or two, so that'll help. But man, the six site being T-cap now, and Jiggly can't hang around until the keeps that's there. Okay, well, you know, he will lose the villages here, Beasty, but not the end of the world. Got 2 town centers, Song Dynasty after all. Well, I should say actually 1 town center actually. The other one was taken down, second keep, really protecting. Oh no, he's lost it. Only 3 minutes was on the clock, and he's going to lose the sacred site. That's really rough there for Jigglypuff, no doubt about it. Like, I don't think this army is enough to win. I think Beasty would have lost the game. Jigglypuff gives him a way back into the game, would you believe? Beasty fighting tooth and nail to stay in this one. A lot of units on the west side though, cutting off the trade. This is big, right? Because in the last 5 minutes, Beasty's been able to achieve a lot. He's decapped the sacred site, which is basically cut off the win condition for now. He's also picked up a lot of the traders on the west side, and he's bought enough time to be able to stabilize. Now, these cavalry units probably will take this keep down, but where were they like 5 minutes ago? That's when they needed to be there. Now, Elite Cataphract is in, so Palatine School really powerful for the Byzantines. Gives them that tech advantage, so I wouldn't be surprised to maybe just see him dive in his enemy's base. Or just take a fight, right? Because now is the time to take that fight with the upgrades kind of in. Gonna lose a couple of... Oh no, he left it unguarded. It just feels really awkward. Despite having the mobility in the cavalry, it feels like it's just not on the map where he needs to be, not splitting off the army. And he's losing traders behind this. Of course, Beasty has very helpful walls to kind of cordon off the map. Does he have a trebuchet of his own? No. Yeah, he's got 2 trebuchets, would you believe? So he's going to be looking to take that keep down the back. Trying to raid a little bit. Cataphracts and Keswick should take care of it. Just about. The fact that he's still got a couple of spearmen here on the trade, this is clutch play by Beasty. Eventually that army will be cleared up. Cataphracts charging on through. Going to take out the trebuchets, most likely. Best Bees deploy. They're not what they once used to be, but they're still pretty decent. Villagers on the left want to fight off the spearmen and go for the gold. Yeah, I guess both players are challenging for the gold now. It makes a lot of sense. This is a gold that Beasty would want to take. I mean, he's doing a pretty good job of denying that gold as it happens to Jigglypuff. Bear in mind, Jigglypuff has 4 relics just to the 1 of Beastie's. Oh, that keep is a bit of a disaster there for the Byzantines, right? There's no way to stop it as well. Just look how fast the Chinese villages build. There's 21 villages there. And he's going to get control of that gold, or at least he's going to deny it from Jigglypuff, which is not always... It's not the... I mean, to be fair, it is actually a big deal because the trade is actually starting to die. Cavalry charging on through. I mean, he's losing a lot here, Jigglypuff. There's so many Cataphract dead bodies going up against Spearmen, but they are Castle Age Spearmen up against Imperial Age Cataphract, so... I mean... It's a bit of an awkward situation. There's the elite upgrade to the archers, which look absolutely phenomenal. And the villagers are down here for Jigglypuff. This is valuable gold here for Beasty. He's got a full-scale farming transition behind this as well, or decent scale transition. Cataphracts are coming out. He needs to kill these villagers if he can. That's a lot of chunk of the economy. Here they come. Cataphracts. They could charge through. They're going to charge through, but not enough to actually kill the villagers. I mean, they're so weak. Oh my god, they're so weak. All they needed is just a couple of hits, or just 1 hit. But most of them actually end up surviving. Garrison inside the keep. Going to be living to fight another day. This is an awkward situation. It's being very slow to push. 3 trebuchets in the keep. Here for Beasty. Working well, and I think Jigglypuff loses his keep. He does. He doesn't come out to repair. Despite having 1,500 stone, he wants it for other things. Come on the right side, a couple of cheeky villagers, but they're kind of exposed. Probably will die in the end. Relatively even number of military now. Beasty's come back on the villager count, no doubt about it. Like, he's somehow back in the game after losing all that army. Charging with the spears, crossbows on the back here for Beasty. We'll take out the trebuchet. Feels like the push is really running out of steam here for Jigglypuff. Like, the population is just not good for him. Despite having the trade, it just feels like he's lost a lot. Oh, that's a lot of villagers though, speaking of losing a lot. Looks like he lost a lot of economy with the traders. And a lot of army there that kind of went all full aggro without any siege to back it up. Speaking of siege to back it up, he's got plenty of golden wood, Jiggly, so maybe look to spend that on some siege. Probably could be decapping this right-sided sacred site as well. 30 minutes into the game, absolute corker. I told you when I upload videos to get YouTube, they're great games. I think this has been a great game so far. A couple of missed opportunities for Jiggly, but Beasty's been playing out of his skin to come back on this one after losing the army so massively. He's rebuilt it very quickly though. I can say that much. Look at the farms, holy moly, that's going to be a lot of food coming in soon. Not fully adjusted just yet, so that income per minute should start to climb. And in the end, having killed the villagers is perfect for Jigglypuff. Look at also get his own keep. I mean, this is the thing, right? The keeps are in really awkward spots. Now he gets to keep on the sacred side, but oh god, if that was a little bit early, you know? He's got to keep in this position. I mean, this is the thing. A keep here would have covered both the gold and the sacred side. So it's a bit unfortunate that he didn't spot that. Kill two birds with one stone as it happens. Spend the stone elsewhere. Either way, those trebuchets. What are they firing off now? Another keep on the gold. Yeah. All of a sudden, it just feels like Jigglypuff is really running out of steam. That keep is probably going to go down before too long as well. A lot of the army is sticking out back home, which is curious because he doesn't need any more upgrades. It's all good because maybe what Jigglypuff is doing here is waiting for Beasty to go to Imperial Age. And once he does, maybe then he pushes. But the trouble is, if he waits too much longer, he's going to lose the keep. It's a big investment. Just the one town centre for the Byzantine so far. I guess he's got the trade to help with that. And here comes a bombard. Slowly going to be working on this keep. But this keep... That's the thing, right? It just bought so much time here for Beasty. Those keeps on the map being a pain in the ass. By the time Jigglypuff takes care of them, well, Beasty would have remaxed his economy and done really well. In fact, to be honest, I feel like Beasty's ahead. Look at his bank of resources. Absolutely phenomenal. So much food, so much gold in the bank, and he will be going to the Imperial Age before too long, right? It can't be too far away. But you can understand why he's kind of delaying things a little bit, because he doesn't want to necessarily spend all the resources without anything in the bank. Because he wants the bank, like if he loses the army again, he needs resources to replace it. Otherwise, it's just a one-hit army, and then if he loses the army, it's dead, which a big fight might be coming in before too long. I love the fact that Great Wall Gatehouse is on the gold, although there's not huge amounts left. But every little bit helps, for sure. Counterfract on the gold here. Nice positioning on this keep, but yeah, as we said, it will go down eventually. Down she goes. I'm kind of surprising he's got so many units here. Like, it's interesting for sure. I guess he just really wants the gold, and understandably so. There's the Imperial Age. Now, will that be a signal for Jigglypuff to attack? We will have to see. Almost seems like it, but we have to hold the phone. We'll lose the gulping cataphract. Now, having 4 relics as well is huge. Like, it just is such a nice boost over your enemy. And we did take a look at the Chinese farms, but take a look at these Byzantine olive groves. Generating a good chunk of olive oil, which is obviously coming in with the mercenaries. Oh, one thing to bear in mind, the trade post. What mercenaries can we get for the Byzantines? We've got the war elephant, not the Chukunu. Not bad choices at all. On the other side, you've got the veteran... Sorry, the mercenary Musafari warrior, and you've got the mercenary camel archer. Going elephants might be a cool thing, just for the splash damage against infantry. But of course, the crossbows do make playing elephants a little bit tricky. Potentially going to push on through. Oh, Beasty got something here. Getting some outposts, that's what he's getting. Either way down the middle. Potentially going to take the engagement. He's going to turn around and fight this, it seems. Jiggly. He takes an engagement against the spears. The range unit's a bit further behind. Possibly going to charge on through with the cataphracts. We shall see. He's waiting for it. Oh, that's a lot of Nesta Bees. Going to go straight for the Nesta Bees. And I imagine a lot of these Nesta Bees will go down to the cataphracts. Huge fight here for the Byzantines. But he's got to clear this army out, that's for sure. Just a good still number of crossbows. He's going to take the keep down. This is a really good push here for Jigglypuff. Takes out the keep. In the meantime, though, Beasty's still being a pain in the backside in different locations of the map. 81 military to 34. He's spending everything he's got here, Jigglypuff, but he's got to make sure he kills out the army. That's a lot of crossbows. That's going to dent in these cataphracts. Well, the cataphracts do get a charge. He needs to rely on these archers here, ideally, Jigglypuff. No incendiary arrows, which somewhat hurts him. By the north, just a handful of raiders. Nothing too drastic. Where the drastic stuff is happening is down the middle. Now, with no meat shield for these archers, that's going to pose a bit of a problem. He might lose a bit here, Jigglypuff. I think he will lose his army. Pushed him too far. He does have another group and batch of cavalry, premium cavalry. So maybe he'll be able to retreat with a decent chunk of his archers, potentially, to take the next fight. We'll have to see. Start to siege things down. Imperial Palace is next. He's got round to the keep. The question is, how many more landmarks does he have? Beast. To be fair, he's got a couple, right? He's got the Great Wall Gatehouse. He's got the Barbican of the Sun. He's got the capital town centre. He's got the Imperial Academy. He still technically has the Imperial Palace, but that might go down. Trebuchet's moving forward. This could be an awkward situation. Especially if he goes right for the Achilles tendon, right around the primary base, right through the middle. It could be a big problem. He does have border settlements, giving the extra vision. That's going to go down in that spot with the house going down. So the cataphracts might charge in once again. We'll have to see. Hold the phone. That's a lot of spearmen, though. I'm not so sure about this one. He needs to get the archers involved here. He's looking to do just that. Archers not firing off just yet. There they go. And the cataphracts might just charge on the crossbows. And it would make a lot of sense because that's the unit they need to thin down the numbers of. He's also fighting underneath the keep. This is not too optimal here for Jigglypuff. Kind of curious to see why he's taking it. I mean, he's probably going to survive with a lot of his archers, but he's going to lose so many premium units in a blink of an eye. The army value just dropped and plummeted. He's taking the fight with the crossbows now, and he's going to trade well against the archers. Bear in mind, he's got incendiary arrows, right? I don't think Jigglypuff has the incendiary arrows on his unit, so this is kind of rough, actually, as it happens. Now, he's actually pulling back. I wonder what the game plan is here for Jigglypuff. I see Beasty moving on the right side for resources. So we're heading to almost the 40-minute mark. It's been an absolute corker of a game, absolute banging game. Hope you guys enjoy it. Just lost the 5th water level. Just Beasty does such a good job of this, right? Just peeling off a handful of units to harass and be annoying with. It's been working well for him. For several years, I think. Definitely it's been working for him recently. Gonna lose the trebuchet, I'm afraid. Coming in with the elite cataphracts. But without the sheer numbers, you know, these crossbows will whittle them down very quickly. No problem for them. No boiling oil kind of hurts. Means that these units can just walk on by. But again, as you can see, patrolling the trade, forcing the Byzantines to stay at home and deal with that at least. We're just coming out to stone for perhaps another keep. Anything they get off the map now, I guess, helps. Whether they actually use it to build something or even just trade it in the market, which is always an option too. Gold about to expire. Now, bear in mind the fact that the gold is coming in for Jigglypuff is a really nice transition. Sure, he does have some gold back at home on the west side, on the west corner of the map, but trade will work for him, it seems. Alright, officially 40 minutes on the clock. Might see some big battles soon, because it looks like both players are starting to eye each other up, making a huge army, get the walls up. Maybe might have to break those down, whoever's progressing against Beasty. Although Beasty can actually send units to stand on the walls. Certainly be helpful for taking patience on and stuff like that. Yeah, being patient with the wall. I mean, he's gonna get more walls, and yeah, being patient with it is going to be important. Beasty, he's hogging a lot of resources, a lot of food, a lot of wood. He's fully population capped. The trouble is his gold, right? That's what he's really struggling with, because Beasty doesn't have any relic. Well, sorry, I take it back. He's got one relic. He does have some tax collection from the Imperial officials, but will that be enough to sustain an Imperial Age army? It certainly won't be. It's got a lot of crossbows on the walls. Looks like it's just going to hang out there. That's a heck of a lot of cataphracts. Okay, Spirit Way coming on in. That should give the Ming Dynasty for the units. Infantry units at least. Alright, 2 bombards, going to make quick work of this keeper, I'd imagine. Bear in mind, the Ming Dynasty does give them an extra 15% health in the infantry. It's very, very nice. Now, I don't think he actually had the Yuan Dynasty, if I'm not mistaken, because that Yuan Dynasty, what it would have done is give the movement speed for infantry, but he never really got the astronomical clock tower here, Beasty. It's a heavy investment, obviously, so doesn't really need that now. They've got Ming Dynasty. Bombards go on the west side. Again, more raiding on the traders. This is actually hurting Jigglypuff quite a lot. Well, there's got a decent amount of backed up resources, so losing some economy units won't necessarily be the end of the world, because you can make more units with them, take bigger fights. Should be able to take out both bombards. He will get them charging on through with the cataphracts. The archers need to focus on the crossbows if they can, but being on the walls is a little bit tricky, right, for Jigglypuff to deal with. I mean, he needs to deal with this raid with the spearmen. This has done so much damage to the economy. Oh, keep. He keeps it alive. He starts repairing it. Very nicely done. Jeez, that's a lot of villagers on stone. I guess he's just mining everything he can. Does he see this? Oh, he doesn't see the gold, Jigglypuff. Would you believe it? No wonder why he hasn't been mining it. Will he see it now? Oh, there's just not a vision. I can't believe it. He just doesn't see it. It's a decent chunk of gold there, would you believe? 4,000. Villagers have had enough there on the right side. 82 military. I wonder how he's going to push him. The trouble is there's no siege here, right? It's just hard to break through the walls. I mean, he can't really break through the walls, which is now awkward. Although, no, there we go. There's the trebuchet. He's broken away. He's found a way inside. A couple of elite palace guards to raid with. That's a problem. You can see how just a handful of units can cause all sorts of trouble. Bear in mind, it's a double whammy. Not only are these villagers not gathering food from the olive groves anymore, they don't get olive oil. Here comes the charge on through with the cavalry, right through the spearmen, right to the top of the back line. Beautiful sight with the archers there as well, added into the fight here for Jiggly. Should be able to clear out a lot of the army for that Beastie has. This is a bit of a problem for him. Will he be able to survive this push? That's the big question. I mean, the big thing is that actually, Beastie has got a lot of resources backed up, right? So even if he does lose his army, he should be able to replace his army pretty quickly, considering how much production he's got as well, which is huge. I think he just whittled down the numbers, right? These cavalry are absolutely melting to the armor composition. Spearmen, crossbows, both counter units. The archers will do okay here for Jiggly, but, you know, he's lost a lot of resources doing this. A lot of resources. Beastie is pushing this back now. Jiggly having to back away, and he's replacing the army, but it takes a bit of time to get across the map, right? Interesting, he's got to keep on this side. I guess he was on it for the stone. He just doesn't see it. I can't believe it. That's a huge deal, actually. That goal could be a big difference maker. Try and retreat with the trebuchet. Gonna just chuck in units, but this is looking a bit dicey for Jigglypuff. So all of a sudden, Beastyqt's army numbers starting to look really good. Going to charge in through with a couple of cavalry again, but I think Beasty will be okay taking that fight. I mean, he's got spearmen, he's got crossbows, the crossbows on the wall, he's got everything he needs. Beasty's going to start to push out his base now and cause all sorts of trouble for the Byzantines. Oh, there we go. Tower Elephant coming out for the Byzantines. Wait, where did he come from? Oh, it must be the mercenary house, right? The regular mercenary house? Yeah, there it is. It's the Tower Elephant. Because I was thinking about the War Elephant inside the market, but cavalry charge on through with the cataphracts right on top of the crossbows. But still, it's hard to fight this, right? Spearmen and crossbows. Cataphracts and cavalry just no longer really seem too viable. Especially considering spearmen are really, efficient, just costing food and wood. Adding some palace guards now for the archers. It seems like Beasty's starting to gain some momentum. It's been 46 minutes. He lost his army quite a few times, massively, but somehow has been able to pull himself back into the game. I just feel like Jiglypuf could have gone for that sacred side victory, could have gone for a bit of a bigger siege push, but it wasn't to be, and it feels like the momentum's slowly starting to slip away from the Byzantines. But the trouble is, he still has to see out the game. We'll lose the Tower Elephant. Beasty does need to close out the game if he can, but this is the difference, right? He's got rams on the way. He has siege. And he's mopping up bits of wood everywhere. Oh, the cataphract's not spotting it, would you believe? Here come the spears, palace guards, crossbows. There's a huge army for Beasty. Wonder if Jiglypuf can hold. Now, Beasty at 200 population, so it's going to be pumping out units. Especially with the income he's got. The bank of resources is absolutely phenomenal. Cataphracts do charge on through. And the archers will struggle against the palace guards. So I love that addition. Because the palace guards tank really well, all things considered. Allows the crossbows to be at the back line. I mean, sure, cataphracts will do well against palace guards, but the archers definitely don't. Behind all this, he's stonewalled his farms here, Beasty. We do see him do this time and time again. He's got to keep there to protect as well. So almost impossible to harass. Which obviously has not been the same way to be said for Jiglypuf's economy and his traders. Going to try and get a keep in this side. That will help, but a keep, I don't know if that goes up. I mean, even if it does, he's going to lose a lot of army, a lot of villages rather. Speaking of army, there is a bit of army around the back, a couple of palace guards, the army fighting down the middle. Beasty might lose his army. But look at that, he had to abandon the keep. He lost villagers doing it though. It's down to 103 population supply in terms of villagers. Not looking too hot on that. A couple of cataphracts going around the back. Looks like he wants to raid quite heavily. Quite weak actually, a lot of those units. See, a lot of them very low on health. Crossbows doing the best they possibly can. Palace guards taking forever to go down, and that's going to take a lot of volleys. That's a lot of idle time. A third of the economy idled. That's absolutely bonkers. I will eventually take out the crossbows, but take a look at this. A couple of rams. Cataphracts around the back. Didn't really achieve too much in the end, I don't think. Just keeping some of the Chinese army at home, I guess. Maybe not for too long. I'm going to keep on the east side with one villager. We've seen some really strange things here in this game. This is certainly one of them. Going to take a long time for that one to go up. If it ever does. Alright, cataphracts just going to clear up some of these stray units here. Yeah, this is an awkward one, right? Because, like, landmark snipe is not really an option for the Byzantines. Just way too many landmarks to have to snipe. And, yeah, he's not really got the sacred sites as a win condition. Potential doesn't have any under his control, and they're a little bit awkward now to get. So headed to the 50th minute of the mark of the game. The question you have to ask yourself is, well, Jiglypuf had two really good positions. First of all, the sacred site victory potential, and also just being on the forward positions, just he needed more siege. Will he get another chance like that in this game or not? That's the big question. You'd be surprised what only 2 rams can do. It's a big difference maker. Looking to pick up some resources on the west side, or the villagers gathering resources. And lose the cataphracts, there's a lot of spears. Yeah, this is looking awkward. He's got I don't know, how do you fight this army as well though, because there's palace guards, there's crossbows. maybe just full crossbows for the Byzantines, but this was a bit awkward, right? Because don't forget these infantry units got an extra 15% health, courtesy of the Ming Dynasty. And he's going to use a couple of traders here for sure. Granted, obviously, it seems like, well, obviously, you can tell in the statistics down the bottom left of the screen, Jiglypuf has actually killed more workers than Beasty has. But it's less of a problem for Beasty, right? Because he's got Song Dynasty. So he can replace those villagers a lot quicker than his opponent. Speaking of replacing villagers, Jiglypuf can lose these villagers quite quickly. Might have to replace them because there's a lot of them that won't make it back home. Oh, walls have been broken. And those hand cannoneers probably just going to waltz on through. In fact, he's going to go on the walls. Be even a bit annoying, a bit more annoying. That's going to be so annoying to deal with, right? And especially because now you hand cannoneers with extra range as the Chinese, and they do well against the elephants, that's for sure. Although this army probably will be caught out here for Beasty, but not, you know, it's not really a problem because a lot of them are spearmen, and he's got plenty of wood and food to rebuild them. Just this farming economy is absolutely buzzing here for Beasty. He's also trading himself, by the way. 74 gold on it. Paliscar's on the right side. This is going to be dicey here for Jiglypuf. Doesn't really feel like he's got his army in the right spots. He committed heavily on this west side, right? This always seems like a bit of a bait. His army's stuck on this west side, and meanwhile his economy is being raided heavily. He's flooding a decent amount of olive oil, though. How much does he need for an elephant? That's the real question. That's what we're all wondering. About 1,000. He could afford 2 tower elephants, so a bit of a misplay there, I guess. Paliscar's still getting huge value. Beasty feels full control of the map as well. He's trading massively. And there's more dots in the blue place now that are red in colour. There's still a lot of cataphracts. Which are coming to the rescue, but to have to pull all your cataphracts just for like 5 or 6 Paliscards is really rough. And he's going to start pushing down the middle here now, Beasty. Hand cannoneers on the walls. Even more hand cannoneers. The prized unit for the Chinese. I think probably the best unit in the late game for the Chinese. Can't think of any others. And he's slowly going to be pushing. Paliscar's tank in the front line. Hand cannoneers behind them. Where's he getting the gold from? That's the big... well, yeah, he's trading, isn't he, Beasty? Charges on through here, the cataphracts. Doesn't quite land, though. Runs into trouble with the hand cannoneers behind. And they're still being raided by a couple of Paliscards. It's absolutely phenomenal value they're getting. Looks like it's starting to run out of steam, though, through the middle, Beasty. While the units are trickling in through, he's going to have to group up together for a big fight once again and slowly work his way through. I guess in the end, having 4 relics is certainly beneficial for the Byzantines. I was just taking the fight. I think it's a good trade, actually. I think it makes sense, but the problem for the Byzantines, they don't have much wood income at all. With only 78 villages, it's kind of a problem. Because it means he can't sustain this all the time, right? These numbers. All segments are starting to be deleted, but he gets away with most of it. And he goes up another segment, Beasty. It's got to be infuriating for your Jiglypuf. Here come the rams. I'm not sure if he survives with the rams, actually. Yeah, they do go down. They're not close to the hand cannoneers enough. All these villagers. Is he struggling that much for wood? I guess he is. It's turning almost into a wood game, guys. We do have some wood on the left side. I think this is the... It's an interesting situation, right? Because we've got a lot of wood on the left side. It actually feels like the right side is the target for both players. Right side and middle. At least now. There's just so much wood, right? So losing rams is not really a problem here for Beasty. Much rather not lose food and gold units. Losing a couple of rams here and there. It's okay. It forces the enemy army to just focus on them rather than the enemy units other than the ram. Can make it a bit dicey. If you're facing up against these rams, you have to make a decision. Do you go for the rams? Do you go for the enemy army? Do you try and go half and half sort of thing? Do you use your villagers to torch? Lots of permutations. Depends on the scenario, I guess. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Yeah, but Beasty's really starting to gain momentum. Sending Paliscards this time on the west side. Maybe pushing down the middle. Imagine if he gets a keep on the markets. That'd be absolutely phenomenal. Doesn't have the stone for it though, Beastie. He's pumping out units. Cataphracts mostly. But Jiglypuf running out of gold, running out of wood. It's an issue. He's losing a lot of traders. Finding it difficult to replace, right? Just one town center. You lose villagers, very slow to replace. So this is looking awkward. Spearmen pushing on through. Hand cannon is behind them. It's being pushed on multiple fronts, by the way. Left side, right side, straight down the middle. Is going to lose keeps, and the spearmen tanking against those Keshiks. Keshiks will stand no chance. Cavalry will stand no chance. Wait a minute. Villagers coming forward here for Beasty. Oh, he's doing it again. And if you're not sure on the first, or one of the first few games, with Beasty versus Jiglypuf, it was English versus Byzantines, and he went Rangers here, Beast, on that game, Beasty, and he actually made walls forward like this, and he went, put the Rangers on top. I guess he's going to do the same now with the hand cannoneers, with an absolutely insane range. Yeah, this is looking dicey for Jiglypuf. I don't think he has a way back. And Beasty now 81 military units to 26. Yeah, Jiggly, I think he's really struggling. We could potentially see the GG. I mean, he's been so aggressive for so long here, Jiggly. He's got the position. He had opportunities. He had win conditions, but he just wasn't able to make it count. Cavalry running into trouble on the west side. Villagers coming out to fight off palace guards. That won't work. Those villagers will die. And the economy numbers will be plummeting for Jiggly. Trying to pick off reinforcements, but, you know, just a couple of cavalry, and he's not going to be able to break through Beasty's stone walls, right? So doing eco damage is pretty much out of the question. Digging in further deep into the trenches of the wall. Well, not real trenches, but the walls. He's extending them, and he's even getting siege damage coming out from the spearmen. And, well, there it is, Benjamin. GG gets called. Jiglypuf taps out. He was running out of food. He was running out of wood. He was running out of gold. And he's run out of ideas. And it will be Beasty taking the game on Dry Arabia.